Do men not feel inclined to settle down once they make certain amounts of money? No. Great question, by the way. No. The reason why a lot of men don't want to settle down when they start to make money is because think about how long it took for him to get that money. Latana, thank you for the $11.30. That was a random ass number. I appreciate you for the $11 donation. Shout out to Latana for the love. But that's a great question. I want to re-explain that question too, so everybody can understand this. The question was asked of, do men not feel inclined to settle down once they start making a certain amounts of money? And I'm going to tell you why. No, they don't. And the reason why is because most men have to wait before they get that money. Most men don't start making a bunch of money at 22, at 25, at 28. Most men don't hit their financial stride really into their 40s. But if we're talking about when most women, like most men, is usually going to be in his early to mid 30s. So I want you women to understand something. The comparison of a guy who's financially stable at 34, who has no kids, who's attractive, who's 6'1", who all the other stuff you like for the most part, that is the same equivalent of a woman who's 23 and attractive and young and ain't got that many experiences. That is the equivalent. Women don't understand that though. Y'all think men operate on the same like dating platform as y'all. No, women, y'all get your options up front. So the 21-year-old can attract a fucking millionaire. That's a woman that's a 21-year-old can literally attract a millionaire if she's fine enough and if she's nice enough. The guy, it's not gonna work that way. The guy has to be the millionaire, but men don't usually become financially stable, like you said, until time goes by. So from 34 to from 18 to 34, he was basically nothing. He's basically nothing. That's almost a decade of him not really having that many options. And for most men, they don't have that many options until they get into their 30s and they get their shit together. All the stuff that comes with a man is stuff that he has to go build. Women like leaders. Are leaders made or are leaders somebody that just exists? No, leaders are made. Leadership comes from experiences and making rational decisions and making those decisions in the correct way so people can trust your leadership. So leadership is something that women care about. Experiences. Women like men who have experiences. You've been here. You've been there. You've done this. You've done that. Pretty, thank you for the $20, sweetheart. I appreciate the $20 on Cash App. Women like those type of guys. A guy that's done this and been here and been there and talked to this person and knows this social status, is that something that he just is born with, or that's something he has to likely go build up? He likely got to go build it up. Finances. Women like men with money. Do the average 22-year-old guy in the dating market, do he got money? Hell no. The average 22-year-old is broke. The average 25-year-old, 26, 27, 28, most men in their 20s are broke. They don't start to really get that financial stride until they start getting in their 30s and their careers take off, and then they could start dating. So all this stuff that makes a man attractive is usually stuff that happens in time. So men have to wait another 15 years until his prime comes. Now he has the pick of the litter. Women, y'all do this shit, modern women, not all women. Modern women, y'all do this shit backwards. Your prime happens from the age of 18. And then from 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and then usually around them 30s, you didn't want to settle down. Modern women, not all of y'all, modern women. You didn't want to settle down. You wanted to have fun and have sex and go here and see this dude and travel here and travel there and focus on your education and get your degree and start your business and have more sex and travel and get drinks and all this shit, tattoos and piercings and shake your ass and internet and attention and all this other shit. Cool. Then when those things start to not be fun anymore, then when the relationships aren't starting to lock in anymore, then when stuff's starting to sag a little bit, when the DMs are starting to go down, then at 33, now you want to look for a husband. So now you want the man that you wanted to have dated 10 years ago to date you now. Because that same guy that we talking about, this 33-year-old, 34-year-old that got his shit together, this is the same guy that woman, when she was 22, would never have even fucking spit at. Because he was a fucking lame, because he was ugly, because he wore turtlenecks and he was goofy, he was weird, he was whatever. Now he's 33 and he has a PhD or he got his master's degree or whatever, bachelor's, whatever. Now he owns a company. Now he built up his startup job or whatever the startup company. He sold it for $3 million. And so now he's rich. And obviously most men don't. This don't happen. But I'm talking for the hypothetical man that you're speaking of. That man is now in his career. Now he making $250,000 a year. You want him to settle down. And I'm not saying you personally, Leah. I'm speaking in general. You want that man to settle down when it took him 15 years to become the man that you wanted. But he wanted you 15 years ago. And if he would have tried you, you would have said no. Make that make sense. How come when he gets his options in the dating market, he got to just take one and just be faithful? But when you had that same logic and option for you, you didn't want to settle down. You wanted to deal with everybody else and just do whatever the fuck ever. That's not fair. So I think that's the issue of why, to answer your question, Leah, why men, when they get in their 30s and they start getting money, why they don't want to settle down. Because it's like, man, I worked here. I wouldn't get women at 22. Most men don't get women in their 20s. Most men don't have a bunch of attention and shit from girls. Most men are fucking lame. Most men are in your DMs right now talking to themselves, ladies. You know that. You don't respond to most men. Every single woman, especially for the younger women on TikTok, all the women in here that are semi-attractive and up, fives and up, y'all got dudes in your DMs every day. Do you respond to most of them? Hell the fuck no. You don't respond to most of them. You don't respond to most of them. That's most men. You respond to the rare man though, the guy that tall is attractive. You would probably respond to him. But most men that shoot their shot at y'all ladies, y'all don't respond to. That's the guy that you might want 10 years from now. A man's time comes in time, literally. His value comes in time. Men don't get to just be 23 and be like, okay, where all the girls at? Unless he play college basketball, unless he's 6'6", unless he got a fucking contract or something. Yeah, a couple of those guys get lucky, but that's not the average dude. So that's why most men don't want to settle down when they're in their prime. The same way you don't want to settle down when you're in your prime. The difference is men had to go work. You didn't. You got it up front. Somebody said, I debunked that theory. Okay, hit me. Mark Zuckerberg became a billionaire at the age of 23. This is so fucking typical. From his mother's garage. Nobody waiting on him to be a Negro to turn 40. You have to pay me an allowance while I'm waiting. Okay, well, to debunk a theory, you have to be speaking in a general consensus. You gave Mark Zuckerberg as your fucking example. Respectfully, Lady D, that's one of the most delusional things you could have ever said. Minority doesn't overtake majority. You didn't debunk anything. You gave an anecdotal situation. So if I say men tend to be taller than women, and women prefer men that are taller than themselves in the dating market, you can't say, I debunked that theory because I have a cousin and she's taller than her boyfriend and she likes short men. That doesn't take away from the general consensus. If you don't understand that logic, then I don't know what you got going on. And clearly you don't, because you made that argument. Yeah, there are things that fall in line with the outlier, but the outlier does not take it over the majority, love. So I don't understand your point. Your point makes no sense. Thank you, Erica. Mark Zuckerberg is 1 in a billion. Yeah, some men become rich and successful at 23, 24. Sure. The most men don't. The average man in the US, even in his 40s, which is financial stride, is going to make $48,000 a year and be 5'9", 5'10". I debunked that theory because LeBron James was rich at 18. Yeah, LeBron fucking James. That's one man. You can name 100 other NBA basketball players, but guess what? The average person is not playing in the NBA. The average person is watching it on TV. That's the average man. So again, most women don't understand the differences between probability and possibility. Y'all argue possibility, and that's why y'all are delusional. You're just delusional. Again, showing women generally don't understand logic. They don't understand logic, bro. It's crazy to me. And they vote. They like exist in real world and shit. Like they buy cars and have a job. I don't understand how you women can't understand logic at all. Like y'all struggle with logic every day. It's just crazy. It's insane to me how y'all don't understand logic. It's wild. She gave an analogy of 1% man. Some of y'all women do. Most women don't understand logic though. The fact that you even explaining that is wild. I shouldn't have to, Ty, but again, women don't understand logic, bro.